What's going on, everyone? I hope you're having a great start to your day, in your morning or afternoon, wherever you are. I pray that you just have a great day. So we're going to get into the charts today and kind of break down and talk about what we're going to be expecting for today. Now, what I'm looking at is higher prices. That's what I've been looking at for the longest time, and I think we're going to get that today. I think we're finally going to start attacking these highs, definitely these ones, and maybe we'll get up to these highs up here. Yesterday we took a trade looking for higher prices. That's what we got on the hourly chart. This is what I like. We inversed this fair value gap on the hourly time frame, and we now have this down close candle here that's on top of a daily volume imbalance. We have hit that already, so we could potentially be looking for price to trade higher. That's pretty much what we're looking for. Again, this high for sure, definitely that one, and we'll see if we can get up there. So that's what I'm looking for today. We had a nice kind of tail sign from PPI, as you can see here. Great indication. We have this inverse fair value gap there as well. Maybe we come down and touch into that. We'll see. We definitely have I think a premium gap. I don't think we have anything in terms of let me just make sure. We don't have anything in terms of a restriction on when we're allowed to get into price. Again, I just want to make sure to see how high up it is, but I'm pretty sure we don't have that. Yeah, so right now we're at 40, 50, that's fine. So no restrictions there in terms of where we're at. So that's good. No obvious, I would say, SMT yet. But again, we're still looking for higher prices, so I'm not concerned about that right now with anything being shown or going in an opposite direction where I wouldn't be expecting. So yeah, that's what I have going on right now. I did check the economic calendar. We do have Trump again speaking at a tentative time. So I'm going to kind of go along with how every other day has been, pretty much in the afternoon. So I'm not necessarily worried. I will be checking it just to make sure that it doesn't put a time up when we would be trading. But outside of that, we should be good. So let's kind of get into this right now. This is the hourly chart. Let's go back down to the 15-minute chart. So again, this is the hourly inverse fair value gap. This is the hourly order block. I had just seen when we were talking. Again, I just don't want too much on the chart, but this is the 15-minute inverse fair value gap. That's right here. So this is that inverse fair value gap right here that I believe is important, that we could potentially use. Also, we have a volume imbalance there, and then you see we have this. I'll note this on the 5-minute chart. We have this right here, which would be some buy side liquidity. This is easily a area to target. Just want to make sure just not too much stuff all on the charts. But again, that's what I see here. So the buy side, and we have this from PPI, goes up, down, ends up trading a little bit higher. So again, this is an area of where we could potentially see some movement away. Hopefully we don't just run right off rip, is what we could potentially see with where we are, how close we are to those specific highs. But we'll see what we end up getting. Hopefully come down a little bit lower, create a little breaker for value gap that overlaps with a lot of the higher time frame arrays, and then we'll be looking to take a trade to the upside. Let's just put that onto the right side just so we can see. That would be previous day's high. Just note that. Oops. So previous day's high, buy side liquidity, I mean, shoot, even if we can somehow get a trade that's all up to there, I'm okay. I don't need to necessarily take out this high, which is I think it's going to start going for, and then ultimately this high. Again, we're just looking for our setup, which is 50 handles. If you can offer 50 handles, then we'll take the trade, and that's all we're looking for. I mean, upside draw, I think is very clear today. So what we're gonna, see what we get here. That's fine right there. So make sure it's a 15-minute. This is the hourly chart. This is fine. Can scoot that in. Maybe there a little bit. But yeah, very clear draw here. We have a lot of layered highs that are very clean and easy to see. I would like for us to also leave this in here. I would like for us to leave this and come down and not kind of take it out right away. Again, these are all levels that I'm looking at that I think are important. So this hourly order block, which is this blue line here, 15-minute inverse fair value gap, which is here. This is also a breaker. High, low, high, low, higher, high. We took out a stop here, trading into this. So this is also a breaker on the 5-minute chart. And if we could tap down it, I mean, honestly, what I think we could see, I wouldn't take the play because I wait for the wait for the first presented fair value gap to form. But what I could see us doing is at 9:30, running down up into here and then expanding above, taking out this buy sell liquidity or even this one. Because on the 15-minute chart, we have this breaker, which would be right there. I'm not going to note all that because it'd be so much on the chart. I'm trying to leave it as clean as possible, and this is for me clear enough so I can understand what I could be looking for and where I believe price can go. Right now we're also hitting the top end of the new day opening gap from today, so that's nice. And then a little bit lower, like right here, this area that's also overlapping, we had the new day opening gap high from February 7th. So that's key to note. And also where this all happens down here is the previous day's new day opening gap. So we have a lot of things that are kind of supporting and showing us that price wants to go higher, and it's very clear. So that's what we're going to be looking for today, higher prices. And again, I don't know if we have, just need to go to the hourly chart here. Hourly chart, let's see what we got. Yeah, so we do have the December 15th new day opening gap that kind of overlaps with these highs up here. So we could also draw up to that. So hopefully we get a lot of expansion, because yesterday, if you look on the daily chart, we did have an inside day again until today. So we had an inside day, another inside day. Today we finally got outside of that range, but I think that we should expand higher with a lot of speed. So I'm expecting speed and maybe not a lot of pullbacks, kind of a lot of one-sided direction today. Hopefully we can see a trade setup that aligns with what we're looking for, but if not, that's fine too. But yeah, thanks to everyone that came out yesterday. I had a stream high of 5 viewers, so I appreciate everyone that was there and came to hang out. Appreciate that. I keep talking about it. I think I'm gonna do some type of lo-fi or something in the background, but I'm just not sure what to do, because if there's nothing going on in terms of a trade or I don't see anything, I'm trying not to just be quiet the whole time and just say nothing. and then wait for certain things to happen, because I feel like that can sometimes be boring, but I also don't want to just talk just to talk. So even sometimes if there's some like, chill vibe in the background, that may help. Let me know if that's something you're kind of interested in, and I'll do that for the next one. I'll figure out what sound I'll put back there, but it can't be I guess normal music, because I'll get copyright strike. Don't want all that. Don't need it. Again, I would like for us to come down. Like if we can come down and then offer a nice little breaker setup, or something that's overlapping, and not just come down and run right away, which is a potential. We have 8 minutes, or I guess 7 minutes and 20 seconds until the opening bell. So this is I probably should put it on the 1 minute chart and then go back down to regular trading hours. But this one can get a little much going on here, so I try not to be on this one too much. But yeah, we don't have any restrictions there, so we're good. Just go and check the economic calendar again, just make sure Trump doesn't have any surprises for us. Nope, everything looks good. So we're on. It's like he has spoken every day this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today's Thursday. I didn't know he had so much to say. But hey, if it invites volatility, I'm for it. We could run deep, because I'm also looking at this wick. I'm not going to leave this on here. But notice where we're consolidating at the middle of this wick. This is the CPI. This is the news wick. We're consolidating right there. So I like to see us kind of come down. I don't want to see us take this out before. I want to see it leave it in. Or if they do take it out before, a slight poke and then run and rake below this. Don't take out this low. I don't believe it should take out this low at all. I think this low should stay intact. Also, if we do the range, if we pull the range, we're in a premium. So coming down here, I think is understandable, also with this gap there. So that's what I would want to see. I don't want to see us just kind of run up here, take this out, and then just keep running higher, but we may get that. Sometimes you can look at trading in terms of hunting. You're just waiting for whatever setup that you have deemed kind of what you want. All right, sometimes you may be out there hunting deer and you may see ducks, and so do you want to waste your ammo all on ducks, and then when the deer comes you have none? Or let's say you miss it and then there's another opportunity, but because you shot everything else, now you have nothing. So I've learned that the hard way, so I'm gonna just wait for I'm gonna wait for mine. And so getting in right now, to me, ahead of this, it all makes sense. It's not anything I'd want to see. I want to see it go lower. I want to see it go against this bullish bias. And then we know we have targets and things that we're looking for. And I think today should be a trending day, so I think it should hit fair value gaps and leave quickly. I don't think there should be a lot of stalling. It should run aggressively. about 3 minutes until the market, the 9:30 open. Again, we know our bias, we know our direction. We're just looking to get in alignment with it. Again, also, no rush to get into trades. Not just trying to buy just because I think it's going to go up higher. I don't do that anymore. I used to do that. I don't do that. I'm okay with waiting for my setup. If it doesn't offer to me, then it doesn't offer to me. I'm not going to try to force a setup either and just try to get in just to get in. I'm not doing that either. That's not part of my plan, and it'll never be part of my plan. I'm okay with, missing setups. I could have went back and kind of talked about another trade setup that I saw later on in the day, yesterday, after I was pretty much done. It happened during the lunch hour macro, so it was a pretty nice setup. It was actually cleaner than the one that I took, but that's fine. It's just, again, more data, more understanding of that the setups are there, that I can visually see them, and that they work. So that's what that is. So what low does it have to go underneath? This one. Okay. Again, I would like to see it take out stops first. Like, I want to see it come down and hit this. If it leaves it as a breakaway gap, that's okay. But I need to see the same thing happening on ES to fully trust that. If it doesn't come back down below here, I need to see the same thing on ES. Or maybe ES comes down here and this one doesn't. Then I'll trust it, but not just it running up here, because then it could just be setting this up to run down below again. We have 1 minute left. So again, where are we at like right now? We're like up here. So yeah, that's like enough, that's enough range. It's enough range. And I don't want to see it take out this first yet. I want to see it drop down. So 21 seconds. And I want to see it drop down. Okay, 2, 1, let go. Okay, so I want to see it drop first. Or if it's unable to drop, I want to see S&P drop and show and NQ show strength. So I'm pretty much waiting for that. Also waiting for the first presented for value gap. So let's make sure that's very clear. Make sure we know what that is. This is the first presented for value gap. So I want to see it drop. It may not though. Again, the 9:30 candle cannot be the first presented for value gap. So it looks like we're just going to run, which is what I said is a potential. Just run. I don't want that. Okay, so we've hit that already. So let's see kind of what we get. Don't just, run. That's not fair. It's not fun. But yeah, like again, we're just running, I guess. Running towards the highs, running towards everything. So again, looking for higher prices. I wonder what we're going to kind of get here. This is the first presented fair value gap. It's a nasty wick, but again, I don't see this as not I see us as going potentially higher. So let's see if you know, this is the first presented fair value gap and it doesn't just like scream higher and higher and higher and has no pullbacks. That's essentially what I would hope to see, but yeah, I don't know. We may just, you know, may just run away and not give any chance or any opportunity to get in. I mean, in terms of, let's just see. So 50 is up there. I'm really liking this over top of this. I don't know if we're gonna get back down here. I'm gonna wait a little bit, just kind of see what's happening here. Yeah, so it already took out the high, which is we didn't necessarily want to see all that. First, we do have some higher targets though. We do have this on the 1 minute chart. Yeah, the first presented fair value gap was formed at 931. We couldn't trade back down to it. So again, yeah, we're just screaming up higher, which is kind of what I thought we would get. It's because of the price action and how we've been holding. So it's just kind of running. I need to see or wait for something else to occur that makes sense. Like, I can't just buy it just to buy it. It's right there right now. It's too high for me to buy. Yeah, it's too high. I'd love to, you know, it's just too high right now to buy this. Again, I'm not thinking, or I don't see this as a fake out. Like, I actually think that we're, you know, drawing up to here. If you look at this one, we do, let's see, we do have some SMT there, but I think this is just showing a weakness. Dow again does always whatever it wants to do anyways, so not necessarily worried about that. Look at here, we're close to the previous week's high, which is this one. I believe that's where we're going to be targeting. So we closed above this high. We just closed a new 5 minute candle. Again, this isn't enough range for me to have a clear line of direction, because the buy side is about 35 handles away. Yes, I do believe and think that it can go higher, but I need to see a little bit more of a framework, more of something there for me. So trading down into this gap right here, that's not enough for me, because it's like, yeah, not enough. It's just up here, buying up here is just not, it's not in the plan. And I would love to see it trade a little bit lower and then do this and then offer a breaker setup. Could have been a quick day, but you know what, things happen. Let's look at the 2 minute chart just so we can see what's there. So yeah, trading into a 2 minute fair value gap. Think that's a viable option, but and this remains a breakaway gap. But yeah, I'm gonna just wait and be a little bit more patient. I don't like where we are up there, so I don't trust that one yet. If we would have come here first, like let me draw this. So if we didn't break above this high and we've come down here first to this first presented fair value gap on this candle and then did this, I would have bought it. Just not where it's at right now. Not where it's at right now. Was contemplating buying the first presented fair value gap here. Like if it comes down into here, now I'm contemplating buying that. But I don't think so. I think I'm gonna wait. I think it might want to go clean that these lows up down here. I think that may want to happen. So I'm not gonna buy it if it goes in there. I'm not upset either if it ends up, you know, hitting that and then going higher. That's okay. I'm okay with waiting a little bit more. Yeah, you seen that? That ain't nice. It's a large wick down there. So I think that because I'm looking on ES, it's trading down into its fair value gap. So I think that this may want to come clean this up. If it doesn't, that's also showing. Then we now have SMT here. If it's not showing that, I'm just not gonna buy this right now. That's not happening. And I'm glad I waited, because that would have been a very, very quick loss. I'd already be done. So again, I am looking for higher prices. But yeah, I just think that it would have wanted to clear this stuff up first. Now we're just kind of looking to see what reaction, what do we get from here? Because that's what I want to see. Now, like, again, I'm not just buying it because it's in this 15-minute fair value gap, because it's a breaker. Even though that's what I like to see, I'm not buying that. It needs to go down there and create a signature of what I'm looking to see. Because I just raked against everyone. It also just traded down into the new week opening gap. Consequent encroachment of that, it just hit that now from January 26th. So again, just being patient. Even though I want to see higher prices, I need to see support happening here. I like this. Don't get me wrong. Like this isn't my setup in terms of like what you guys normally see me do. But again, I do think this is a optimal buying opportunity down here and taking it up there, especially because it fell short. I think this is just running against everyone. We'll go higher. So I'm waiting for my setup to specifically form on the 1-minute chart. Even though I see this on the 15-minute chart, I see a breaker for value gap. I see what it hit off of. I think this again is trying to get people to short. And so I'm just waiting and being patient. Let me just also check and make sure they didn't update Trump speaking. Nope. So nothing there. But again, I'm looking for higher prices. I'm not looking for lower. I think this is all just a fake out. Again, look at the bodies right now. The bodies are telling me. Also, look at the wicks here. Look at the bodies here. Can't even close inside of this fair value gap. This isn't even inside the fair value gap. It's letting me know that it wants to go higher. I just got to wait for my setup to form on the 1-minute chart. If it forms all the way up here in the 1-minute chart, again, that's fine. I'm expecting us to go up there. So that's a lot of it's a lot of range. That's what I'm expecting. Maybe it occurs at 10 o'clock. Again, this could be a short-term high, runs down below, and then expands up again. I would take that because that's a high. Run below the low or some type of SMT. I then look for this buy side above. Very obvious, very clear. I think this is, again, just raking below. Getting everyone that was in earlier, I thought they caught the high, and pretty much rake against them. Why? Because this is very clean. I wanted to see that happen first. It did the opposite. So I have to wait. this goes lower, it goes lower. But I'm waiting for something specific to happen. And when I see it, I'm ready to go. Again, I don't necessarily want this candle to blast up above here. I'm kind of okay if it comes down one more time or does something and then creates a fair value gap over this. Then I'm all for that. I will take that trade a buy, and I'll look for us to. I don't even think I need to get all the way up there. Yeah, I need to get like somewhere like right here, pretty much there. I mean, based on where the fair value gap is. So, don't necessarily want to see it just blast above, but you know it can, because that'd be a short-term high for me. And then hopefully the next. Okay, there you go. So I like that. So if we can get a fair value gap there at some point, and it shows a willingness to move away, and then trades back down into that, I will take that trade. Again, I don't deny that this was a good trading opportunity down here. It's just not mine. It's not what I do now. And hopefully we don't go too far away, but we might. And again, I don't want us to come down here and just start screaming up higher, which we may do. And again, that's fine as well. If that were to occur, I want to see a fair value gap get formed here, because I believe that this is where the money is. But again, I need to see a fair value gap get formed. And then also that it trades down into the fair value gap. If we can do that, this to me is important. I will do a, that's not what that's supposed to be yet. But that needs to, wait, it's not even gonna be that much. Needs to create that for me. So that'll be my trade setup if that can happen, and it doesn't just run away like it did yesterday. But that would be my my trade setup. But we'll see what we end up getting here. Hopefully we can get that. So 50 would be roughly right there. Hopefully we can get that right below the buy side liquidity. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. Hopefully we get it. If not, then we don't get it. But I'd like to see that and not just, run away. Because it's very, very bullish. Hopefully we can kind of trade down there. Offer a quick, peek into that. And then pretty much, run away. But right now it doesn't look like it wants to do that. Because look on the 15-minute chart. Look how bullish that is. See that? Like, I don't think we're gonna get that fill. That might be like a breakaway gap. Because look what's happening. Now here, so if we create a gap above, let's point this out. So if we create a gap above this candle here, and we create a fair value gap here, and then we also create one there, I will look to mean, I would love to see us come back down here. I would love. But if we can create a fair value gap up here, I'm looking for this as a breaker, but hopefully we can get this fill here. Can trade back down into that gap. Okay, so we're in. That's not a nice fill. I mean, it's a nice fill. We'll see what kind of happens here. This is a trade setup. This is what I have planned. So I want to see if we can trade up to here, and it's pretty much 50. It's 50 handles away. So we'll see. I could be wrong on direction, and it is what it is. But I like the fill. I like the gap that we had left there. Like, I like what we had created, but you know, I don't like that fill. I don't like how it kind of completely closed this gap in. That's not a signature that I like to see in my trades, but you know, price can do whatever it's going to do now. But I will be honest, I don't like how it completely closed in that gap. But I have to give myself allowance for that to occur. So yeah, but I do believe that we will be trading higher. I believe I put my stop in a place where if it is end up going to be going higher, that it shouldn't get stopped out. But if it does get stopped out, then I'm just wrong, and it may come down again, sweep this out, and then potentially make a high here if it's going to ultimately go higher. Again, I'm looking for higher prices. I'm not looking for lower prices. So we'll see what we end up getting here. Again, this needs to kind of move away, some speed, and yeah, I want to see it like move aggressively. This gap here, I don't want to see it be respected, because if it is respected, then I'm 100% offsides. Like, there's no question about that. If this gap gets respected and is unable to close above this gap specifically, I'm offsides. Or at least at the moment, I would be offsides. So this candle to me is very, very important where it closes. I don't want to see it kind of come up here and close way below and beyond, because it's probably a sign, like pretty much what it did right there. I don't like that. That's not showing the signatures I'd want to see. And you know, if I end up getting stopped out, then that's what happens this trade. But this would be a, you know, plus order block that's on top. But yeah, we're kind of just waiting and seeing kind of what happens here. Again, the lows to me look like, I feel like these lows are okay based on where the bodies are and how the bodies are closed outside of this fair value gap. We also traded really deep in, so I feel okay with my stop loss being here. Again, just always looking for 50 handles. It's below this high, so I feel confident in taking this trade. So that I do like, but I need to see it kind of start moving away, not coming right back down, because that's not a because then it will be respecting this bullish order block inside of this first presented fair value gap. So wouldn't necessarily like that. I do know and understand that we're trading into a new week opening gap from December 8th. So we are struggling a little bit more than what I would have, than I would like. I do see, I am watching ES at the same time. But yeah, this isn't, I guess I would say the speed at what I would be expecting it to kind of move away at, but again, it's possible. that, you know, it's kind of stalling here a little bit. But again, I do think that we're going to go a little bit higher based off of, I'm looking at the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart too. But again, I can always be wrong. And so my time stop is 30 minutes, which is 10:17. That's kind of like my time stop for the trade. You know, kind of where is it? How is it responding? Is it able to move away, or is it just having a hard time doing anything? We start to get to that time period, I'm gonna start to potentially close the trade, or it just kind of depends really what's happening, what's going on. Will it give me a little bit more confidence in this trade if it moves away and creates a gap over here, or just exceedingly expands through this? Again, I am looking for higher prices. I would have liked it to move. I mean, this traded a little bit deeper, but it did hit this order block. That's why I didn't put my stop loss kind of in there. I felt like it could have done this. I felt like these lows were safer. But again, it could be accumulating inside of this gap and could reverse. But I'm still leaning more towards the upside, and that's what I would be expecting on this trade. I like how ES is kind of traded down into its gap as well. But the body's closed way, 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 way above. I want to see if we can, you know, I don't like the struggling. That's what I don't like. Oops, that's not where it should be. I don't know if I changed it. Right here is the gap I'm looking for. I think it was like 812. So I want to see it start to show some strength here soon. I like how, at least as of right now, this candle has shown some strength. What I mean by that is it traded down into it and showed at least a little bit of support there. But again, I don't even need this high to be taken out, even though like we fell short of buy side. That's like literally right there. That's my thought process. I'm not going to jam my stop loss up. I'm not worried about losing this amount of money. It's not even about the money. It's just literally the trade setup. I want to see it start to move away a little bit more than what we're currently doing right now. Like I want to see it start to expand off of these levels because I think that they're important. I mean, we're back inside the first presented fair value gap. We had this, which I think was to run out everybody who was long already. That's why I didn't buy this one, because I felt that these were going to be the next target for everything that was underneath. That was what I felt. So now this high, if we can get above that high, I want to see us expand quickly with large range candles, attacking this up here. This is short term, but I want to see us like run right through that. Run through it with speed. Have no regard for this high. Don't come up here and peak, like just run right through it. Like this same candle, how large it is, I want to see us just run right through it. Right through it. This is the old CPI high, or PPI high, I'm sorry. So look how we have initial support here, and I want to see us just run right through it. Like large range candles, not peaking, slowly coming up, just run straight through it. That's what I want to see. Ultimately attacking this high, but we don't need that high. I don't need that. Because that's also right below the old buy side liquidity, which is right here on the 15-minute chart. Like this one would be reaching back up into that. That's all I would need. That's all I need to see. And I want to see if we can, you know, coming up here and closing below, don't want that either. I want us to keep expanding, keep moving higher, and have no regard also for this specific fair value gap. No regard. Just run right through it. Attack this old high, this one, and then this one above. So I like that close. I don't want to see a pullback. I just want to see us keep running. Keep running, create a fair value gap over this high, and keep running higher. Leave this one open. If we do create a fair value gap, I want it to be left open and to target this high up here. That's what I would want. So at this point, where it is from here and up here, I will mitigate my risk a little bit. I will put it, because there's a fair value gap, I'll lock in a pizza. There's a fair value gap here, there potentially, this order block, this first presented fair value gap. So to me, it shouldn't come back down based off of where it is. There we go. And that's the trade. So it was a nice one. It ran a little bit deeper than what I would have liked. If I'm being completely honest, I ain't finna lie about that. But it ran a lot deeper than what I would have liked, what I expected based off today. But I knew that this was a fake out. I said if we create a fair value gap over this high, which should be high, this high with a fair value gap there, I'd be looking to buy that. And I'd be looking to take it higher, ultimately to take out this buy side, and ultimately this one. So we were in a little bit of drawdown. And for me, I'm just looking for 50 handles. That's where I found my groove. So even though I think it can go up here, it can go up here, that's fine. Just for me, 50 handles is what works. And so I'm going to continue to do what works for me. This trade lasted, let's see, 10 minutes. It's a pretty good trade in terms of time, the length of the time. So I'm very happy with this one. I will most likely be on tomorrow, but I probably am not going to trade because it's Friday. I've made pretty much 1,000, which is I'm very proud of, because that's been something that's been really hard for me to get. So I pretty much have done that this week. So I'm going to, I'll still trade tomorrow, or I'll still be on tomorrow, but I'm not going to trade. But yeah, just very proud of that in this week, and just my ability to stay consistent with what I'm looking for. I appreciate everyone that has been on. This was, yes, a quick stream, but I'm not going to sit on here and just continue to watch it. I'm okay without doing that. But again, thank you for everyone that watched. Thank you everyone that came by, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:10, same time. Have a blessed day.